in the election in 2020 on WHOW, so we know how that went. They had over almost 3,200 people, well over half of those coming in personally to the office and interacting with their employees as they walked them back to the ballot machines, as they walked ballots out to people's cars. It was basically a 350% increase in interaction with the public.
The use of the funds was under question, though, by other board members. Melanie Tilley questioned if the funding could be used for the purposes they were targeting, and Travis Hauser wondered how they arrived at $500 per employee when originally the proposal was for $2,000 per employee.
The things that you just described are that we couldn't use the money from the CARES, is that right?
No, what he described was the CARES money. The ARPA funds don't start till March 3rd of 2021.
Right, I was just going to say, so from March 1st or 3rd of 2021 is going forward, which I think is what some of us were saying, is that they already had their PPE equipment, all, they had their plexiglass put in, they had all of the equipment that they needed. Some of them weren't even allowing people to come into their offices. They were being stopped by the front. So I don't know that, I understand that the election was, but that we can't go back.
Board member Dan Matthews also wondered how long employees would be asking for hazard pay. The proposal narrowly passed 7-4. Get news anytime at DeWittDailyNews.com. 26 minutes ahead of the hour here on this Friday morning, under partly cloudy skies at the moment, 19 degrees. It feels like 4 degrees outside here this morning.
Local information that makes a difference. Here's your regional weather.
Chances of early flurries, otherwise cloudy, highs around 30 degrees today. A northwest wind at 10 to 20 miles an hour. Cloudy tonight with a gradual clearing. Lows around 15 degrees. Saturday sunny, highs in the mid-30s. A light southwest wind at 10 to 20 miles per hour on Saturday. Clear Saturday night, lows in the mid-20s. Southwest winds again at 10 to 20 miles an hour. Sunday sunny, temperatures in the lower 40s. Monday sunny, highs in the mid-40s. Tuesday sunny, highs in the mid-40s. And Wednesday sunny with highs in the mid-40s. Across central Illinois, as we roll through this Friday morning, a bit of a clearing in Clinton at this time. We'll see if it holds. 19 degrees in Bloomington. 19 in Hayworth and Leroy, 22 in Farmer City, 23 in Champaign, 26 in Monticello, 23 in Decatur, 21 in Mount Pulaski and Lincoln, 22 in Springfield, 18 degrees in Peoria, 19 degrees, overcast in Clinton, feels like 4 degrees outside, northwest winds at 15 miles an hour, 88% humidity, and 10 miles of visibility, this morning. Get the latest in local weather at DeWittDailyNews.com.
The DeWitt Piatt Bi-County Health Department encourages you to get vaccinated for the winter flu seasons ahead. Flu shots are available at both their Clinton and Monticello locations. Find out more by clicking their icon at DeWittDailyNews.com, funded by the Illinois Department of Public Health.
DeWittDailyNews.com is the area's leading local news source 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Get the latest local news, obituaries, police blotter, weather forecast, and more with no paywall. Head to DeWittDailyNews.com to get the local information you need to know.
Tomorrow's leaders in the dynamic field of agriculture are being trained today as members of the largest rural youth organization in the world. FFA members across America are preparing to lead American agriculture in the 21st century.
Today and every day in 2022, we salute the FFA.
McLean County Farm Bureau in Bloomington, advocating for agriculture.
Hear Clinton Maroon live play-by-play this season on WHOW, the Big 1520 Daytime. 92.3 FM in DeWitt County and 106.5 in Bloomington Normal all the time. Plus, streamed at DeWittDailyNews.com on the WHOW mobile app and Amazon Alexa. Plus, tune in for a Best of Clinton Sports broadcast every Saturday morning at 10. All brought to you by Baum Chevy Buick, Clinton Athletic Boosters, Clinton Community YMCA, and Mid-State Eye.
If you're looking for local hunting and fishing information, then join us for Central Illinois Outdoors with me, Jared White, Sundays at 8 a.m. here on WHOW. Every weekend, we'll offer detailed local fishing reports from professional guides. We'll swap stories with local celebrity sportsmen, and I'll invite you to share your stories as well. Central Illinois Outdoors with Jared White, every Sunday morning at 8 on all WHOW platforms and on demand at centralillinoisoutdoors.com. Brought to you by Bob Ridings in Pana and the Clinton, Illinois Chamber of Commerce and Tourism Bureau.
You're listening to The Morning Show on the Big 1520 across Central Illinois. WHOW.
Top of the morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. My guest in studio is DeWitt County Board Chair Terry Ferguson as we follow up the Thursday night DeWitt County Board meeting. The WHOW Morning Show today streams live to Facebook Live and YouTube, and it's brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. Good morning, Terry. Thanks for sliding right in with us today.
Good morning, Seth. Yeah. Last night when the meeting was over, it was spitting a little rain and 27 degrees. I thought it could be pretty ugly today, but really it's not that bad.
All right, good to hear.
A little bit slick, but the highways are clearing off fine, and it's going to be a good day.
Good to hear. Well, I was sliding in this morning. I'm not going to lie. It was awfully slick before the sun came up this morning. So, but we got in here. It's no big deal.
It's clearing off pretty fast.
Good to hear. Well, can't wait to get out there and see what it looks like. And Terry, I kind of had hoped. I'm not going to lie. I had a couple of ball games I wanted to watch last night, and I had hoped perhaps maybe you would find yourself a little occupied, and we'd have to put this meeting off a night or two. But we got it in, and a lot happened last night. So let's dive right into it, my friend. And start with some appointments, Terry. We've got some appointments to the 708 board and reappointing Sandy Schlosser to the supervisor of assessments. How about the appointments last night?
Yeah, it was a pleasure to reappoint Sandy Schlosser to the as the supervisor of assessments. She's been here, done an excellent job, and very thorough, and got the details on how to assess and negotiate with the power plant with their assessments, and she's a valuable person in our county employee list.
Sure. And we've got Ted Lowers and Mike Bennett to the 708 board.
Yes, they're got a filling in, and they've been doing their job there for quite a while, and both of them are excellent choices for that position.
All right, very good. So those came up last night, and let's talk about Marina, Terry, and it feels like finally some resolution on all this.
Yeah, I think we're kind of finally on our way. I think we're going to probably see the land auction sometime in mid-April after it gets a chance to be advertised. Our two of our local realtors and auctioneers, Rob Nord and Jay Haycraft, are going to be teaming up to auction off the property. We hope to turn the property into cash and make some needed improvements at the marina.
Tell us, that's the overarching theme. Kind of give us the background on this a little farther back, Terry. How did this come up? What was the driver behind this? How about some of those things?
Well, over the years ago when we acquired the marina, there was 75 acres of unimproved land that was included with the property that Exelon gave us. And, the intent was to use the property for future development around the marina. We really don't need any developments on that side of the lake. I think the best use for the property would be to turn it into cash and make some needed repairs at the marina. We've had an ongoing problem with the breakwater. We've been trying to find a resolution to that, and this winter, the south section of the breakwater, as the cables have broken, the barrels have split. It's in a shambles, and we decided to declare it an emergency and go ahead and replace that section of the breakwater. We did a lot of inquiries. The committee did. We inquired probably a half a dozen breakwater companies. This is a company that specialized in dealing with waters in cold climates. Some of them only work down in the south. When we deal with ice, there's a different need there. This was one of the more reasonably priced and one of the most durable ones. they got a company. They're from Canada. They're used to dealing with cold water and icy conditions. The guy told me we measure our ice in feet up here, not inches. So.
And one thing, and I'm not trying to say like you have to get a completely risk adverse, breakwater, but and I thought the point was well made. We're spending so much money on this process. We've poured a lot of money into this already. We need to find a resolution and a solution that's going to work. How certain are we that this is going to work, Terry?
I'm real confident in this one. The last one we did, we were had a limiting amount of capital we could invest. We found this company. They're from Florida. They had a good line, and it was maybe only a third the cost of what we're getting ready to do now. Mm-hmm. But it only lasted about 3.5 years. So
okay,
and it's it just didn't cut it here in the icy country.
Sure. You tied in the sale of marina property sale of Clinton Lake property to the marina. How far will that sale go, you think? I know you've probably got a ballpark figure, so how far will that go?
I don't know. It's very speculative. Right now property is selling real well, and we hope to be able to pay for a complete breakwater with the proceed of the land sale and have some money left over.
With the inflation and not necessarily just limited to the marina, but how much is that impacting perhaps the outlook of things?
Well, that there's during times of inflation, real estate holds its value real well.
Okay.
And but then the cost of doing projects escalates.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
exactly.
It's kind of right now that's part of our problem. We started trying to come up with a solution to the breakwater a year ago, but because of COVID, nobody was manufacturing. It was hard to get anybody to come and look at our project. And now then everybody's booked.
Yeah, sure.
Now then this was one of the few companies we could get that could even promise a delivery in this boating season.
Sure.
Most of them were, hey, wait till next year.
Was a lot of this budgeted, Terry? Was this all planned coming into the year, these expenses and things?
Well, it wasn't officially budgeted.
Okay.
We budget all of the resources of the marina every year to be used for projects as they develop. They're not budgeted as individual projects, but we take in about $250,000 a year from the slip renters and the ramp fees, and we utilize that resource then to do the projects at the marina.
I saw Joe Caldwell there last night. I know Joe from time in Monticello, covering his son his son and daughter when they played sports over there. What's and I'm throwing kind of a curveball at you, so forgive me here, but what's kind of the status of his contract and negotiations there? I know there was some kind of, I don't want to say turmoil, but some things happened there a few months ago. Any update there?
No, that's going to be our next project, is putting together a bid packet to renew the contract for the operation of the marina.
Okay.
This is at the end of this year. It'll be time to establish a new contract. Joe is I'm sure will be one of the players in the process. But
I was going to say the fact that he continues to show up to meetings is a good sign. I
There
think
could be somebody else too. We don't know. We'll just see what happens.
Very good. Well, again, DeWitt County Board Chair Terry Ferguson, our guest in studio for this morning. Anything on marina, the sale of the property, anything I missed in that conversation?
We did authorize up to $28,000 to do some repairs from the winter. Every year some of the floats go bad. We got to replace some of that stuff. We got to finish the process with the fuel dock. We got the old fuel dock. We need to get rid of part of it. We're going to utilize the slips that were on it for rental slips in the future. So that included doing those projects.
Sure. Let's dive into just very quickly, Terry, before we go to timeout here for this morning. Upgrades for body cameras, in-car cameras, and laptops for the sheriff's department. ARPA money used for that. It sounds like ARPA funds starting to get distributed here. You approved that last night.
Yes, they are. DeWitt County used body cams since, I believe, 2012.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it had been that
and
long.
We were one of the first counties in the state to do that. We got a grant to pay for those back in 2012. But of course, the way electronics work, they are now becoming rapidly unusable.
Yeah, obsolete is a little too extreme, but
yeah, well, obsolete's the way it is. I think it's planned obsolescence. So anyway, now we're going to upgrade to the next level and with current technology, and I think it's going to be a good move and
Sure.
opportunity to use our ARCA fund for that.
Sure, and as the sheriff mentioned, saving the taxpayers some dollars by
That's
using
correct.
the ARPA funding. So, very good, and planned obsolescence. I like that. That's a good one. Very good, Terry. With that, anything on the sheriff and his designation last night for that funding? Anything you want to add to that?
No, I think it's pretty clear.
All righty.
We've had a couple court cases in the past that were resolved because of we had the body cam evidence.
That's what I hear a lot.
And
Is it helps with those things.
It's one of those things that can save the county a lot of money.
Very good. Terry Ferguson, DeWitt County Board Chair, our guest in studio. We'll break here. More to come on the morning show, streaming live to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton.
Let's check the opening numbers now at the Chicago Board of Trade on this Friday. I'm Jim Taylor for the RFD Radio Network. Corn, beans, and wheat all starting the day double-digit lower. March corn 6.72 3/4, down 22 1/4. May corn down 23 1/4, 6.67, and December corn opening 5.87, down 17 3/4. March beans 16.20 1/2, down 41. May beans down 38 3/4, 16.15 1/4. November beans down 20 1/4, 14.31 1/4. March wheat 8.82 1/2, down 43 1/2. May wheat beginning the day 8.90 1/2, down 44 1/4. July wheat down 47, 8.78. March bean meal 4.57 even. That's down 7.90 to start the day. And March bean oil 70.42, down to $1.58. Opening numbers at the Chicago Board of Trade on this Friday morning. Jim Taylor, RFD Radio Network.
New trucks and SUVs are coming here at Baum Chevrolet Buick in Clinton. This is Scott Baum. Yes, we have new inventory arriving, and you can see what will arrive right on our website. Just click on the pre-order and reserve tab. From there, you'll find vehicles in transit and vehicles in production. Or just call our sales staff and we'll help. Find Silverados, Equinoxes, Blazers, including Tahoes and Suburbans, as well as our complete Buick line of SUVs. BaumChevyBuick.com, right from the start.
Here's a supply chain update from Dave Jackson, owner of your Clinton Save-A-Lot. As a local store owner, I've learned many lessons from the last 2 years, from keeping my shelves stocked for you to selecting the freshest meat and produce and other items you buy every day. I want you to know that we've utilized our off-site storage facilities to beef up our inventory levels to avoid running out of items you buy. While there's no playbook for what we've all experienced, you have my personal commitment to keep our shelves stocked every day. Your Clinton Save-A-Lot appreciates your business, and we hope to see you soon.
This is The Morning Show on 92.3 FM in DeWitt County, WHOW.
Once again, good morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. My guest in studio, DeWitt County Board Chair Terry Ferguson. We follow up the Thursday night DeWitt County Board meeting. And again, the morning show streams live to Facebook and YouTube, and it's brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. Terry, I was anticipating a little conversation around the solar energy revisions to the ordinance there. And sounds like things went back to was it the RPC?
Oh, the ZBA.
ZBA, and they didn't make any changes when you wanted them to.
Oh, you mean, okay. No.
Sorry.
It did go back to the RPC.
Okay, yeah.
And they didn't make the change in the location of the process.
Now remind us what they had proposed.
We'd sent it to them to have commercial facilities to be located in ag zones. They changed it to industrial, I feel that would get us in trouble. We have no industrial zones, you know, and if they
No
wanted,
available industrial zones,
yeah,
right?
that's right. You know, all of our industrial zones are occupied,
Right.
and you know, the proper way to do it would be to do a map amendment and create some industrial zones, and then have them relegated to those zones. So we sent it back to the RPC for further consideration, and they chose to send it back to us. But they did make a couple of minor changes in the fee structures. And once our zoning officer got the minutes from that meeting, which was yesterday, we realized that there was changes that had been made, and that has to go back through the ZBA to work on those. So
where's the breakdown there? Why didn't it go to the ZBA automatically with those changes?
Well, I think I think it was just mainly because the zoning officer was on vacation.
Oh,
and then so anyway, so it's going to go back to the ZBA.
Gotcha.
And we'll be looking at those changes, and they'll have an opportunity to look at any other issues within the ordinance.
With the conversation around the industrial zones, is that problematic that they didn't make a change there and there's no industrial zones to be built on?
Well, you know, with the advice of the state's attorney, that by relegating them to an area that we don't have available, it makes our ordinance unenforceable, and could cause some legal ramifications.
Yeah, I was gonna. That's kind of what I wondered. And so, with that said, does that send the message that DeWitt County is anti-solar? You think?
Well, I suppose it could be looked at in that fashion.
Yeah.
People can take away from.
And I don't know how the RPC
I
don't know how the RPC or ZBA feels about those things, so I wouldn't know where they stand. But yeah, I just was kind of curious. That just seems like we don't want you here, so we're going to force you into a place we don't have. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, that could have been the intent. I don't know. I think they're viewing it as that those types of facilities are an industrial use of the property, so maybe that ought to be in an industrial zone. So
can the ZBA make changes to that?
Yes, they can,
and then send it to you.
Yeah.
Now, would it have to go back through the RPC for their approval?
No, it goes to the ZBA and then back to the county board. There.
Okay. Gotcha. So perhaps more of that coming your way
Mhm.
in the months ahead. All right. Very good. Anything on that, Terry, we didn't get to last
I
night?
think that's good.
Or this morning, I should say. So very good. Let's talk a little bit about, this was quite a process to get to where we were last night. Talk a little bit about ARPA funding going towards hazard pay for non-union employees. Got this approved, $500 for employees who came in about every day through the course of the pandemic, had a ton of contact with the public during, some of the peaks and valleys of COVID. How about those things, Terry?
Yeah, this funding from the ARPA fund it allows a premium pay to be paid to county employees that have contact with the public, and the dates that goes into effect was March of 21 to the current date. Some of our employees were furloughed, but after March of 21, they were all back to work, and some of them had more contact with the public than others. The finance committee had considered it. The first request was for a higher number than the $500. I and some of the other board members felt that we owed it to the employees to bring it to a vote and see what we can get. If the board chose not to make that offer to them, so be it. But I felt they deserved to hear from the full board on how it would go.
Yeah.
And selected a number, $500. I knew the $2,000 number wouldn't have a chance at passing, but maybe a smaller number would. So I think our employees will be pleased to get that.
Sure. Well, and so this is, something I wondered about as I was listening to the conversation last night. Aaron Kmeyer brought up a good point that these people had a lot of contact with the public and those sorts of things. There were union employees that were furloughed that went home and, worked from home, and maybe they were in and out of the office, to alternate, people's exposure to each other in the event of COVID. Just my opinion, I would think that would warrant more than $500 when they had so much contact with the public. What do you think about that?
Well, the contact with the public, as of, you got to keep in mind that this effective date is March of 21. And after March of 21, we had the protocols put in place with the plexiglass and the protective.
Why is it not before that?
That's just the rules of the ARCA fund.
Okay.
So that's the way that's established. There was a
wouldn't common sense though say these people had contact with folks all the way through? Like, you like, I understand that's when the ARPA funding is for and all of that, but like, I don't know. I just feel like at some point, like, logic has to play a factor in this.
Well, and maybe, you got to go by the rules of the grant.
I understand that. I understand.
And I think that's probably why the vote ended up the way it was. I think
right,
some folks
right.
considered that, those people were there working.
Sure. And how about the counter arguments? I see both sides of this. I know Mr. Matthews brought up the point that, okay, they're going to continue to have contact with the public, and, perhaps COVID doesn't completely go away. Maybe, 10 months from now, we're back in the situation where we see another COVID surge and all of that. Are they going to come back for a request for hazard pay? How about that?
I don't think so. I think they would probably review this as a one-time deal. The courthouse was open the whole time. Unlike many of the state offices that were completely closed down, you couldn't go to the Department of Unemployment.
Right.
You talk to a warm body. You had to. You had to make contact over the phone or with Zoom meetings.
Which kind of furthers my point to the fact of like
our people were there working, and
right.
That's why I felt they needed some sort of recognition. For that.
And again, that kind of furthers my point. Like, those people probably got some sort of CARES funding, or maybe they're getting more ARPA funding thrown their way and things like that.
Yeah, I don't know what the state employees got.
I don't either. Yeah,
I doubt.
I venture a guess.
I doubt they got a bonus pay for if they had to work from home.
You don't think so?
I would think. Well, knowing the state, they probably did.
I was going to say, Terry, do you know the state of Illinois by chance? I tell you what. But no, it's either way. At least this gets passed. So $500 for non-union employees through ARPA funds. Terry, good to have you, my friend. Stay safe out there today.
Okay,
appreciate it. Terry Ferguson, DeWitt County Board Chair, my guest in studio, following up the Thursday night DeWitt County Board meeting. And again, the WHOW Morning Show streams live to Facebook and YouTube. It's brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton.
The Big 1520 WHOW Clinton, 92.3 FM W222 BG Clinton, 106.5 FM W293 DJ Normal Bloomington.
Breaking news this